Have you ever seen one of these before? In all of the years that I have been in RC, which dates back to only to 1988, and at the time when I was doing that, I had every magazine, radio control magazine possible, and I don't recall ever seeing this engine in an ad, and that's really why I used to buy RC Modeler, was just for the ads. But I'm not even sure how to pronounce this, but I think it's Mutunuc, something like that. But when I saw this engine on a forum the other day, I kind of knew I had to have it, especially seeing it was new in box, and it's quite uncommon to see. This is a Millennium Pro, or Millennium ABC, 61 ABC engine from a company called the Mutual Unity Mutunuc Enterprises in Taiwan. This is an interesting engine just because of its rarity. Like I said, I haven't seen too many of these advertised around or anything. And it came complete with a box, the instruction sheet, and it looks like, you know, they had an 80, which is pretty interesting. I would really love to get my hands on one of these 80s. Pretty nice instruction sheet, talks all about it. It also came with an interesting piece of provenance, which I'll just put a picture of, which was the original receipt, the original time of purchase. Now, a lot of these bags and stuff aren't complete. I don't believe are original, but it even came with a pretty extensive set of tools. Some Allen keys and a couple of wrenches. So here's the engine. I had it out because I was kind of playing around with it, holding it, that type of thing. But as you can see, it just looks like your standard, 60 size 2-stroke engine. The thing I kind of think is interesting about it is I like this kind of darker casting color. It's kind of more like a gunmetal type color. Got a black head, obviously, and this carb is ground down, so this kind of has this polished look. This looks a lot like what the Royals and Magnums back in the 90s looked like, so I have a feeling it was probably made in that same factory. Let me just I'm not going to tear this engine down because it's brand new, but I want to take this muffler off real quick, and I'll take the back plate off and show you, because I did look inside the back plate and I thought it was rather interesting that it's got the same size rear bearing as the Sato F820 I just rebuilt, which is like a 16,003, I think. And the thing that's so cool about it was that it was so clean back there I could actually read the numbers on the bearing, and it looks to be a pretty high quality bearing. So, brand new. Get a good look at that ABC engine. Looks really nice. Super excited about this because of how rare the engine is. And of course, I'm not going to keep it pristine like this. I'm probably going to go out and run it today. Very hard to find any information. I found a couple little blurbs online, and that's really all they were. Blurbs from forum posts from other folks back in the early 2000s talking about this. So I know from the invoice that came with this thing, this engine was purchased in 1995. I have no idea if that's near the beginning or the end of the production life of this engine. I have not put a single drop of oil in this engine at all. And look how beautiful that is. And right here I can actually see the numbers on that bearing, 16,003. I haven't even ever rotated it through. Now I put a brand new OS number 8 plug on here, which is what I plan to run it with. And these screws that came out of the exhaust are actually for another muffler I had. But I wanted to show you the very striking similarities. This is the muffler that came with the engine. This is a muffler from a Thunder Tiger Pro 61. Now granted, I've just got the exhaust port rotated differently here, but there's a pretty striking resemblance there. Now this part is angled out a little bit, but other than that, these mufflers look pretty damn identical. Slight shape differences, but I mean, they're pretty similar. So anyway, this is a quick look at this Mutunuc Millennium 61 engine. The next video you see of this one will probably be with me running it on the test stand for the first time. So stay tuned for that, and we'll be seeing how this nice looking engine performs.